Daily Broadside, day 590. Yesterday on TikTok, I saw an advertisement for Morton salt. Morton salt as in salt you put on your food. I don't understand why, especially Morton. That's got to be like the Cadillac of salts. Like, they've got to have most of the market. They're the Mount Olive pickle company of the salt world. I mean, surely, right? Like, if I ask you, name a salt mascot, you're going to think of the whore with the umbrella. I mean, that's the only one there is, right? I can't even think of another salt company, right? So they're advertising salt. I don't think that it's necessary to advertise salt, because if you're number one in the market, Morton, gotta be, right? They're going to be in every major food store there is. And people aren't going to seek out, oh, I got to get some Johnson & Johnson salt. No, they're going to go buy it. They're going to be like, crap, I need salt. And then wherever they happen to shop on the regular, that's where they're going to buy salt. And they're not going to be choosy. They're going to buy the cheapest salt there is. There is no difference. The Morton people couldn't do a taste test and say, this isn't our salt, this is Johnson & Johnson. It's salt. It's like, it's a compound that you put together. Like, it is what it is, right? It's not like peanut butter where you can mix in some different things. Salt is salt, okay? I don't think that anybody could discern the difference between it. But it's just fascinating that stuff like that has an ad campaign. Like, there's a marketing director for salt, I'm sure, right? What do you do for a living? Oh, I work for Morton Salt. Oh, yeah, that's a big salt company. I mean, I don't even know of, like, what are y'all, like the only salt company? No, we've got, a bunch of salt mines, but there's some competitors. We're trying to put our foot on their neck every day. We're succeeding in most cases because nobody really knows anything but us and the whore and the umbrella, and all that, whatever, the rain suit, I guess. But they're like, well, what do you do there? You're like, oh, I'm marketing director. And they're like, come again? You're like, yeah, I'm the marketing director. You'll have to market salt? People don't just buy salt? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And then you like go somewhere else at the party because you don't want to hang out with this dork. And how hard is that job? You got to come. This is me coming to work as the marketing ad director for Morton Salt. Hey, Billy, what's going on? Susan, what's going on? Yeah, we can do lunch tomorrow. That's fine. I'll be in my office. You shut the door and you sit down and you're like, oh God, how do I come up with a new idea for people to buy salt? They're gonna fire me. I got nothing. I'm nothing. It's like writing a Hallmark card. How many more ways can you say Feliz cumpleaños, happy birthday? I'm gonna write a birthday card real quick, off the top of my head. I'll be like, hey, it's another year. We're glad you're here. Hip hip hooray! 10 tons of cheer. We love you. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, how many times can you say happy birthday? How many times can you say, please buy our salt? But it's right up there with like sugar, flour, bleach. There's things that just don't need to be advertised. It makes no sense. It makes 0 sense. But I'll tell you what I love about being American is when you see things that just make you feel American. Yesterday, I saw somebody that had swapped a Chevy 350 into a Bobcat. And I was like, man, this thing will run for about 30 minutes wide open and it'll be out of gas. But it was awesome. I would much rather have the diesel that Bobcat put in there. But the fact that somebody decided, you know what? I got this crate 350 over here sitting in the shed and I got this Bobcat with a blown motor. I'm gonna marry the two. I love that about America. I love the ingenuity and everything. That's my favorite thing probably about America. Watching the Vietnam documentary last night, and they talked about in Vietnam, the city Hue. There's right through the middle of the town, right above the Citadel and all. There's the Perfume River, and I thought to myself, ain't no way that smells like perfume. It just, I don't know what perfume means in Vietnamese, but it can't mean what they think it means. And I did a little house sitting for my parents' dog the other day. Went to their house, hung out with their dog. It's some kind of collie, border dog. It's like one of them dogs that would herd sheep, whatever those are, right? So I'm dealing with this dog, and I'm there for a few hours, and I texted her, I was like, how many times a day does this thing eat? I feel like I'm John Candy in Uncle Buck. I don't know how many times a dog eats. I know people that give their dog food scraps and feed it all day long. I don't want the dog to be fat, but I don't want it to starve to death, whatever. And she's like 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. I'm like, damn, dog gets up at 6 a.m. I ain't getting up at 6 a.m. to feed this dog unless I'm already up. So then I'm looking around, and I'm like, I see the dog food. Where the hell's the bowl? And she's like, it's under this whatever in the kitchen. And I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, this thing with like a maze in it? She's like, yeah. I was like, that's not a bowl. She's like, it's a slow feeder. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but a slow feeder for a dog, it looks like flowers for Algernon, right? Like, it's just like a maze for the dog and all this. And I'm like, what is that for? They're like, well, dogs eat too fast, so it slows down their digestion and all that. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. All animals eat fast. They're animals. That's what they do. They gorge their food because it's like they're in prison. They're making sure that nothing else takes their food, even if nothing else is going to take it. And she's like, and I'm like, this is a domesticated animal. It's still an animal. It needs to eat as fast as it can eat. Their digestion is made. Have you ever fed like a pit bull? Like, you ever seen those videos on TikTok where they're feeding a pit bull like raw duck throats and bull scrotums and cabbage, and this dog's just eating everything. It's eating like soup bones, and it's just gorging this stuff. One gulp, gone. And it's as much as it can. They'll eat till they pop, right? And I'm like, this dog is the same thing. It just doesn't have, I don't have any carrot throats around here. Why did I say carrot throats? Duck throats laying around here for it to eat. So I was like, I'm not using this stupid bowl because I'm not training a dog to eat slower. It needs to eat the way it was built to eat. So I just dumped a cup of food on the floor and it ate off the floor. I was like, that's got to be the same, you know. I mean, they eat their own crap, you know, and that I have a problem with that. You know, I don't have a dog. I had dogs growing up, but I don't have a dog because I don't have time in my life for that. But I think the biggest problem with a dog is the fact that whatever created animals and dogs, they came in and they said, it's going to love you. It's going to cuddle up with you. It's going to love you. If you beat it senseless with, you know, a rope or a rubber hose, it will come back 5 minutes later and want to cuddle up in your lap. Like, that's what we're going to make dogs. And they're going to be so cute and adorable when they're puppies. And they're just going to fawn and love you when you come through the door. And they'll be laying there taking a little nap, and they'll hear the car pull up and they'll be like, and just come running to the door and love you with every ounce of their being. It's going to be great, and they're going to be so cute and adorable, but they're going to eat their own crap. What? Why do we have to throw that in there? That makes no sense. Like, take the eating the crap out, right? Just take that completely out and away, and just leave it at adorable. Adorable, great. Adorable combined with eating your own crap, like the twain shall ever meet, and they shouldn't. Giddy.